Isaiah 63. Who is this who comes from Edom, dressed in bright red, coming from Basra? Who is the one wearing royal attire, who marches confidently because of his great strength? It is I, the one who announces vindication, the one who is able to deliver. Why are your clothes red? Why do you look like someone who has stomped on grapes in a vat? I have stomped grapes in the winepress all by myself. No one from the nations joined me. I stomped on them in my anger. I trampled them down in my rage. Their juice splashed on my garments and stained all my clothes. For I look forward to the day of vengeance, and then pay back time arrived. I looked, but there was no one to help. I was shocked because there was no one offering support. So my right arm accomplished deliverance. My raging anger drove me on. I trampled down nations in my anger. I made them drunk in my rage. I splashed their blood on the ground. I will tell of the faithful acts of the Lord's praiseworthy deeds. I will tell about all the Lord did for us, the many good things he did for the family of Israel because of his compassion and great faithfulness. He said, certainly there will be my people, children who are not disloyal. He became their deliverer. Through all that they suffered, he suffered too. The messenger sent from his very presence delivered them. In his love and mercy he protected them. He lifted them up and carried them throughout ancient times. But they rebelled and offended his Holy Spirit. So he turned into an enemy and fought against them. His people remember the ancient times. Where is the one who brought them up out of the sea, along with the shepherd of his flock? Where is the one who placed his Holy Spirit among them? The one who made his majestic power available to Moses, who delivered the water before them, gaining for himself a lasting reputation, who led them through the deep water like a horse running through the wilderness. They did not stumble, as an animal that goes down into the valley to graze. So the Spirit of the Lord granted them rest. In this way, you guided your people, gaining for yourself an honor reputation. Look down from heaven and take notice from your holy, majestic place. Where are your zeal and power? Do not hold back your tender compassion, for you are our Father, though Abraham does not know us, and Israel does not recognize us. You, Lord, are our Father. You have been called our protector from ancient times. Why, Lord, do you make us stray from your ways and make our minds stubborn so that we do not obey you? Return for the sake of your servants, the tribes of your inheritance. For a short time, your special nation possessed a land, but then our adversaries knocked down your holy sanctuary. We existed from ancient times, but you did not rule over them. They were not your subjects. All right, so interesting, like I was mentioning, I wonder how far Jesus read. When he started at chapter 61, how far did he read into this section? Where did he stop? All right, so we have a description here and a surprise from some standpoint. Who is the one who comes from Edom? Why would they come from Edom? Yes. Here is an archetype for the Lord's enemies. Yes, Edom is one who sometimes is the enemy of, though yes, a child of Abraham is a enemy. So comes from Edom, dressed in bright red. Who is the one wearing royal attire? Coming from Basra. Basra comes forth with brightness, so coming forth not necessarily from the place, but with brightness. So we had the image and the motif earlier about light coming. So Coming with brightness would be coming with brightness, like light. Like we have God is supposed to be the deliverer. God is supposed to be coming, and now we have someone coming in red. This wasn't what we expected, is it? That's not what it was leading us to, but wearing royal attire. So honor is upon them, marches confidently because of his strength. It is I, the one who announces vindication and the one who is able to deliver. So it is the one who is coming and is able to deliver. So coming with brightness, but red garments. And then the question, why are your garments red? Why do you look like someone who has stomped on grapes in a vat? So if you've ever seen that, someone doing grape stomping by foot, the juice is going to get on your garments. It's also one of the reasons why you stomp on the grapes barefooted. I always thought that would be fun to do. Never have I done that. Never have I ever stomped on grapes. But the answer is the one who is coming says, I have stomped grapes in the winepress all by myself. No one from the nations joined me. I stomped on them in my anger. I trampled them down in my rage. Their juice splashed on my garments and stained all my clothes. So I did it all by myself. So in the past, we have had that God was using other nations to punish other nations and doing all of that. And now it appears that there were none that he could use as instruments to do this. In his anger and his rage, he is doing it all by himself. For I looked forward to the day of vengeance, and then payback time arrived. I looked, but there was no one to help. I was shocked because there was no one offering support. So my arm accomplished deliverance. My rage drove me on. So I looked for someone to assist in this. Who could I send? And no one was available. I was shocked that there was no one offering support. So I did it all by myself. I trampled nations in my anger. I made them drunk in my rage, and I splashed their blood on the ground. So the idea of being drunk, let's see if they have anything in the footnote there. No, just familiar imagery. So the cup of wrath is what's in mind here. You drink from the cup of wrath. If you get drunk from the cup of wrath, you are receiving the wrath. If you don't get drunk from the cup of wrath, you are delivered through the wrath. So being drunk from the cup of wrath means you are consumed by it. It is consuming you. So I splashed their blood on the ground. So it's all over the garments. It's all over the ground. I will tell of the faithful acts of the Lord, of the Lord's praiseworthy deeds. I will tell about all the Lord did for us, the many good things he did for the family of Israel because of his compassion and his great faithfulness. Now, we often have the speaker switching who it is, the way they're talking about it. They're talking about it as if it is God or it is the messenger of God doing things, and then it clearly is the messenger of God and not God, and we switch that back and forth, and sometimes that is like, okay, did we switch who it is? It doesn't matter. The message is coming. The message is from the Lord, even if it's through the messenger. He said, certainly they will be my people, children who are not disloyal. He became their deliverer through all that. All they suffered, he suffered too. So now we have the suffering servant imagery again. We have the suffering servant. So the people suffered, the suffering servant is going to also suffer. The messenger sent from his very presence delivered them. So it is the messenger who has come, who has said the words of God, who has looked for help. There was no one to help. He has done it. The blood is on him, of the grapes, but blood. In his love and mercy, he protected them. He lifted them up and carried them throughout ancient times. So now we're referring back to God and what he's done in the past. But they rebelled and offended his Holy Spirit, so he turned into an enemy and fought against them. So in ancient times, God was with them. They were his people, but they turned against him, and he turned on them. His people remembered the ancient times. Where is the one who brought them up from the sea, along with the shepherd of his flock? Where was the one who placed his Holy Spirit on them, the one who made his majestic power available to Moses? So we have the shepherd, and then we have available to Moses. There's the parallel. The one who brought him out of the sea, along with the shepherd. God brought him out through the sea. Who was the shepherd? It was Moses. So we're thinking here of the suffering servant was just above, where we had Moses, gaining for himself a lasting reputation, who led them through the deep water like a horse running through the wilderness. They did not stumble as an animal that goes down into the valley to graze. So the Spirit of the Lord granted them rest. So the people had rest when they came out of Egypt. In this way, you guided your people, gaining for yourself an honored reputation. So because you did this, God, you gained a reputation. Look down from heaven and take notice from your holy, majestic palace. Where are your zeal and power? Do not hold back your tender compassion. So God looked down from heaven upon our plight right now, and we need deliverance. You are our Father. Though Abraham does not know us, Israel does not recognize us. You, Lord, are our Father. You have been our protector from ancient times. So the call is, we are children of Abraham. He wouldn't recognize us. Sons of Israel, he wouldn't recognize us. But God, you know us. We are yours. So why, Lord, do you make us stray from your ways and make our minds stubborn so they do not obey you? Return for the sake of your servant the tribes of your inheritance. So for the sake of your servant. Which servant? Moses, Abraham, Isaac, take your pick. For the sake of your servant. For a short time your special nation possessed the land, but then our adversaries knocked down your holy sanctuary. We existed from ancient times, but you did not rule over them. They were not your subjects. So this is a little weird. We existed from ancient times, but you didn't rule over them. We were from antiquity. Okay, so they're just talking about the way it was. You did not rule over them. Your name was not called over them. So you were the ones called by your name. See, now I get it when you say you didn't rule over them. No, your name is called over. The indication here, yeah, so your name wasn't on them. Your name was on us. So restore us to the place where we should be. Restore us, God. Vindicate us. Restore us to lift up your name once again.